morning are going to be our direct family up here on the bima. Take the time now to take out your phone, Apple Watch, put it on silent, turn it off so that everybody can be with us and present during the service, not taking photos or anything like that. And otherwise, we're just going to have a wonderful, wonderful time lifting up Jenna in our service this morning. We'll be using our red siddur, so if you look under your chair, there's a little red book, right to left. And then the second book that you can pull out during the Torah service is, of course, they're the exact same colors, but there's two blue books under your chair. One says Torah on it, and if you'd like to follow along during the Torah reading, that will be the one that you take out at that time. Ready?
I think so.
Ready? All right.
Let's do it. So, Hine Matov, Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, you'll find these words, I believe, on page 3 in your Siddur. And the energy coming from all of your voices is going to lift Jenna up even more. So let's join together with all of that upbeat, fabulous Shabbos energy. Hine Matov, Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. We sing that again. Hine Matov, two claps. Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Repeat after me. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
To be together on this day. One more time. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
To be together on this day. Hine, last time. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, guys, I know it's cloudy, but we got to wake up here. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's better, thank you. And Shabbat Shalom to those of you who are joining us online this morning. So, friends, if you are joining us online this morning, you will see that the Siddur, the prayer book, is being pinned right now in our Facebook feed. And of course, I'm going to give a special shout out to our members who are joining us this morning. We literally couldn't be here without you, so we thank you and welcome to any of our guests as well. Rabbi Rachel Miller, Cantor Lauren Adesnik, and of course here celebrating Jenna and the Cohen family on the occasion of becoming Bat Mitzvah. For those online, if you're wondering, the Cantor and I are sort of off to the side in the sanctuary. We have our family on the bima and everyone else in the seats of the sanctuary sitting masked. Friends, if we need to take a break or head out of this room, you'll see that there are exits to your right, to your left, and you can also find an exit behind you as well. So friends on Facebook, take a second to wish one another Shabbat Shalom. Here in the sanctuary, turn to another family, wish them Shabbat Shalom, and we will join back together in just a minute.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, hine matov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine matov, hine matov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
All right, friends, we'll begin on page 5. As Joy Shavitz, if you will come on forward for our Talit presentation. Jenna, if you want to have your talit kind of out and at the ready.
And there's a handheld mic you can pick up.
And Jenna, if you'll hand Joy the handheld mic, or if Joy, you want to pick one up from right next to you.
Yep, right
Yep.
there. You just flip the switch up.
Is it on? Is it on?
Yep, whenever you're ready, please.
Baruch atah Adonai.
So you're going to start from as
I'm
this
sorry.
talit.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
They didn't cue me in before. Okay. As this talit is draped around your shoulders, may the voices of the generations speak to you. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, a sacred place from which you are connected to all who dwell on the earth. As you are embraced in the folds of this talit, so too are you wrapped in the loving embrace of your family, community, and the holy congregation. May the simplest of garments always be for you as a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence. As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in this talit, we are proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
All right, and so Jenna, if you will, is Joy holding it perfect? And if you will recite our blessing.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitchan b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef batzitzit.
Amen. And so we'll get that nice and wrapped around you. Wearing this talit for the first time formally on this day, a garment she could not publicly wear before this very moment in time. And so we bless this moment in time with Shehechianu, page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu l'zman hazeh. Amen.
Jenna, if you will lead us in the Bat Mitzvah prayer, page 6.
God be with me on this occasion of my bat mitzvah. Help me make meaningful the covenant you now establish with me. Sustain me with a sense of holiness. Inspire in me a desire to be special. I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, map out the directions of my life. I ask only that you strengthen within me the desire to mold and shape my life in accordance with your will. In this honor of my bat mitzvah, I invoke your blessings upon my parents and friends and all who have loved and cared for me and have brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and achievement, you who turn the hearts of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Amen, amen. And friends, on page 7, going on to page 8 and 9, Jenna is going to lead us in Nasim B'chol Yom, our prayer for daily miracles. And Jenna, every time that you do this prayer, there's a chance that a different piece of it will stick out to you. And the way this prayer book is organized, our eyes come into the center, so it helps us to be able to kind of peek over at the left, if we're not fluent in Hebrew, and to be able to see, oh, what am I praying for this morning? Ooh, opening the eyes of the blind, whose power lifts up the fallen. Every morning, a different piece might stick out to us. And so this morning, as a bit of a spiritual exercise here, I'll invite everyone to see which blessing sticks out to you this morning. And Jenna, you too, think about which one is closest to your heart this morning as you lead us, page 7.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'chvi vina lehavechin beino uvein laila.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivarim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hukah haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamekim etzadei gaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten layev koach.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir sheina me'enai u'nama me'afapai.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tselem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat chorin.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam otzer Yisrael bigvora.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael betzifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishan b'mitzvotah vetzivanu la'asot b'divrei Torah.
Amen. Beautiful, beautiful. So friends, we'll turn to page 13 in our prayer book. And in just a second, Jenna is going to lead us in this responsive reading. So friends, anytime you see those italic words in English, that's our chance to join in prayer with Jenna. And so remember that the energy that you give to her, it reflects back like a mirror back to you and back to her as we continue in our prayers. Jenna.
May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit indifference, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Friends, we will rise for our call to worship. Baruch Hu, page 15. Jenna, the prayer you are about to lead us in Yotzer Or, it is a prayer about creation. And there's this idea that if God is daily renewing creation, what is our role? So we all probably have different ideas of what God could mean in our lives. One of the one that speaks to me, and I know we spoke about together as well, is this idea that perhaps there's a little bit of God in everyone. And when that's the case, it's our job as co-creators with God to continue that creation and to bring more beauty and more goodness into our world. Yotzer Or, page 15.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Otzer or uvarei hoshek osei shalom uvarei et hakol. Hama'ir la'aretz veladrim alecha berachamim, uvtivo mechadesh bekol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit. Marabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam bechochma asita mal'a ha'aretz kin yanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach me'aseh yadecha va'al mo'oro or she'asita yafaruach selah. Or chadash al tzion ta'ir nizke kulanu me'erat la'aro. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'ma'arot.
Amen. Friends, on page 16, Ahava Rabbah, God's abundant love for us. You know, this is a prayer of just that, of God's abundant, overflowing love. An idea that we should aspire to. How can we love those in our life who challenge us? How can we love those in our life who are like, meh? How can we love those in our life who we already know we have so much love for? How do we bring even more love? That is our task. Ahava Rabbah, page 16.
Ahava Rabbah avtanu Adonai Eloheinu chamla gedolah v'torah chamalta aleinu. Ba'avur avotenu ve'imotenu shebatchu v'cha v'lamdem chukei chaim ken techanenu u'lamdenu. Hamrachem rachem aleinu v'tein belibenu le'evin ul'haskil lishma l'mot u'l'lamed. Lishmor v'la'asot u'kayem et kol divrei Talmud tortecha be'ahava. Baruch atah Adonai habocher ba'amo Yisrael be'ahava.
Page 18, we feel our feet on the floor, perhaps fluttering, our eyes closed. We declare God's oneness, Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. In a second, Jenna, you're going to chant Ve'ahavta, a prayer that tells us to live out our values, to try to do these things called mitzvot that are supposed to make us better people, make the world a better place. And when we're asked to do that, we're asked to put it on our hearts, which is actually, it's the only time it asks us to do that in Torah, to put it on our hearts. So we have to figure out what that means, to sit in raising up our values each and every day. And it tells us, it says, when you lie down, make sure you're thinking about stuff. When you get up, make sure you're thinking about stuff. When you're home, and when you're away, that's everywhere. And it's really hard to think about doing the right thing all the time, everywhere. And so our task is to surround ourselves with reminders, whether that's being in the good crowd, if you will, being with people who make you a better person. It's also the simple things like mezuzot on our door that tell us that we're in a holy place, whether it's our home that has a mezuzah or the sanctuary, the synagogue, the Davis Academy, wherever you may be, to find those holy spaces. The idea is that if we're mindful, if we just try, then there's this chance that we can not only feel God's presence, but give that feeling out to others as well. Ve'ahavta, page 18.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha uv'kol nafshecha uv'kol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinamtam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'beitecha uv'chata v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot ayadecha, v'hayula totafo b'neinecha. Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Leman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hiatem kedoshim el elechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzi'ti atem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'hiot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
From slavery to freedom, idea that we have the chance to be redeemed and are still looking to help others in their redemption. We thank God for that with Mi Chamocha, but first we introduce it with this prayer. Page 19, we'll pray responsively.
Adonai our God, you took us out of slavery in Egypt, you made us free.
You were in the courage with which we overcame 40 years of desert wandering.
Even today, you are in the hope that, like a beam of light, brightens the darkness of suffering and despair.
You are in the love that creates, protects, forgives.
Standing at the sea, we felt your goodness and your love, and we sang a new song to you, and still, today, we sing that song.
We praise you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Mi Chamocha, page 20.
So this is one of those songs where you can get your feet tapping, get your hands clapping, send up all that good Shabbos energy to Jenna. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha ne'ezer b'kodesh Norah tehilot osei felet Norah tehilot osei felet yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 Adonai Yiro le'olam va'ed Adonai Yiro le'olam va'ed. Last time. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 Tzur Yisrael Kuma Bezrat Yisrael Ufidechin Umecha Yehuda veYisrael Go'alenu Adonai Tzevaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch Ata Adonai Gal Yisrael.
Friends, on page 21, we have beginning of our Amidah with asking God to open our lips so that we can declare our praise. And then in the Avot Ve'imahot, it's about naming those people who connect us to generations past and generations still to come. This idea that if they didn't exist, we couldn't be here. And if we didn't exist, the next generation would not come either. With that in mind, we rise for our Amidah, page 21, thinking about those in our lives that brought us here to this moment today.
Adonai sefer tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim, Tovim v'Koneh Hakol, Bezoker Hasad Vod Imahot, Me Vigula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Shia Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeha kol atarach lehushia. Nabishar ach ve'rorim hakashem. Mechalel chayim bechesed. Mechayeha kol perachamim rabim. Somech noflim verafeh ochlim. Umatir asurim. Umekayem nato vishenei afar. Michamocha ba'givro. Umidolela. Melech mimid umechayem. Umnatzir leshua. Otako. Baruch atah Adonai. Mechayeha kol.
Continue praying the bottom of page 23 responsively with Jenna.
Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to others.
There is holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships.
There is holiness when people of different backgrounds work together for a common future.
There is holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when people create lasting poetry or song or philosophy.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Holy, holy, holy is Adonai our God.
Kedusha, page 24.
מקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה על זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. Alleluia. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כל לך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כל לך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. Here comes your part. לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כל לך. Beautiful. לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד כל לך. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Jenna, once again, please read us responsibly in this next prayer, page 25.
From of old, the Jewish people have seen Shabbat as a unique gift, a token of its covenant with God.
Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit. It mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul.
Shabbat has never been merely a day of rest from labor. It has always been a break in the routine of everyday life.
Shabbat is a symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter.
In every age, Shabbat afforded the Jew a sacred retreat, a haven of safety, a fountain of new strength and perpetual renewal.
Shabbat
nurtures family life in love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy.
Shabbat is a part of nature's design, the very purpose of creation. All that was created attained its fulfillment in Shabbat.
Shabbat is our hope, the calm haven where all the weary find rest. With the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world.
So to our B'nai Mitzvah students who are joining us online, now is a wonderful time for you to let us know that you're here and to share with us what brings you joy this Shabbat. And as we pray words of Yismechu, us in the sanctuary, we too should think about what is bringing us joy this Shabbat. Page 26.
Yismechu v'malakutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malakutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Mekadesh, Mekadesh Sheli Shabbat, Kulam Yismechu, v'yitanu Tevecha Shabbat. Yismechu, v'malakutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu, v'malakutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Uvashvir ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, Hamdan yomim, oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malakutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malakutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Zecher, 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 L'ma'aseh v'reshit Shabbat. Zecher, L'ma'aseh v'reshit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malakutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malakutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat.
Page 27. Jenna will lead us as we pray responsibly.
Our world is full of wonders and miracles, but all it takes is one little hand placed before our eyes and we see nothing.
But miracles are all around us and within us. We are each walking miracles.
When we are bruised, what miracle heals us? When we see beauty, what miracle elevates us? When we hear music, what miracle moves us?
When we see suffering, what miracle saddens us? When we give and receive love, what miracle warms us? When we pray, what miracle renews us?
Every springtime is a miracle. Every snowflake is a miracle. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, the hopes we cherish, each is a miracle.
For all these miracles, may your name be exalted and blessed
forever and ever.
Our God, we know there is no greater gift than peace. Help us to find the peace that comes from the love of your Torah.
Inspire us to banish hatred, war, bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family doing your will in love and peace.
Help us to find peace in ourselves and among all people. O God of peace, bless us with peace.
You have given us the power, O God, to bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it, and love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness, wisdom, and love. Then shall we learn to live in peace. Blessed is God, teacher of peace. Sim shalom.
Sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim shalom, tova uveracha, sim shalom, sim, sim
take a moment to continuing to pray the words of our Siddur, or perhaps the words of our heart. And we'll take just a few moments for that silent prayer.
We find these words on page 30. May the words of my heart, the meditations of my mouth be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Michelle and Todd, if the two of you will please offer to Jenna this parent blessing found on page 31. And Leah, Leah, go ahead. Yep, you got it. You're perfect.
May you live to see the world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be. May your heart be filled with intuition and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue and your vision be on a straight path before you. May your eyes shine with the light of holy words and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom and your fulfillment be in righteousness. A Jewish home opens its heart and its link to the generations is proclaimed. Today our child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah and is welcomed into the congregation. May this moment be blessed.
Amen. Hug, hug. Kiss, kiss. We haven't done that yet. There you go. All right, friends, so we have now reached our Torah service. And so first I would like to invite forward to our Ark, Gary Shanks and Edie Disner. You will be our Ark openers. I'd like to, at this time, as we think about our generations of Torah, to acknowledge and recognize our grandparents, Marilyn Sloan and Robert Sloan, Sonia Cohen, and we, of course, recall in spirit Larry Cohen as well. Did I get it all right?
Yes.
All right. Folks, please rise, page 32. You may now open the Ark.
Kimitzion Tetzei Torah, Kimitzion Tetzei Torah, Udvar Adonai Mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael.
All right, so Todd, if you will go get our Torah from the Ark. Feel good? All right, you can come on down with it. And so in just a second, you get to hold on to it for just a little bit here. Because what we're doing right now, Jenna, is we are taking a second. You'll hold it in a minute, not yet. We're taking a second to think about, specific to your family, every person in your line of tradition, in your heritage, that existed in the world, that blessed this world, all that they did so that you could stand before us as a bat mitzvah today. And so I want you to look over Dad's shoulder. Oh, no, you're still just looking. And then look over Mom's shoulder. And perhaps they even connect back in the center here. And what you're looking at is you're imagining, well, you don't have to imagine so much here, that your grandparents, of course. But behind them, great-grandparents, great-great, great-great-great, all the way through the social hall, through the shift playground, everybody that made you who you are today. And we carry that tradition in the weight of our Torah, this scroll which has been read for thousands of years. So now, let's do Mom, give it a hug and kiss. Oh, that's such a nice metaphor for Torah, but I meant the Torah. Oh. Just a little hug and kiss, yep, and then Leah, you too. All right, and so now go ahead and pass the Torah. Now you get to hold it. Perfect, and so in just a second, Cantor will lead us in blessings, and then we're going to do a little hakafah, and the family will head back up to the bima to address our Torah. So after these prayers, ark openers, you can close the ark after and head back to your seats.
We are on page 33 at the top. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Itim, Uneromim Hashemo Yachtav. And now the bat mitzvah family can proceed with their hakafah.
Come on down. Cantor's going to sing songs.
Lecha Adonai hagidula, hagevura, hatiferet, hanetzach vehavod. Ki kol bashamayim uvaretz, ki kol bashamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai halacha, v'amid na'aseh, l'chol rosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtakavu le'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtakavu le'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, romemu. Sing after us. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, romemu. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, lai lai lai, lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 up to the bima. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, lai lai lai, lai lai lai, lai 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 lai. And now you undress the Torah. Yai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai, yai lai lai, lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, lai lai lai, lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, lai lai lai, lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai.
Please be seated. So friends, now is that time for that blue book that I was talking about under your seat, if you would like to follow along with us. One will say Mishkan Tefillah on the front. That's not the one you want. I see some of you have grabbed that one. Switch it out for the other one that's under there. It'll say Torah on the front. And we're going to be on page 91 as Jenna will, in a few moments, chant for us from the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verses 1 through 12. She'll be chanting Lech Lecha, a portion that begins with Abraham being told, Lech Lecha, to go out from everything he knows into a promised land and to trust in something very new to him. And Jenna, you're going to have a lot of that in life, of unknowns that you're going to run out to, just like Abraham. And today, thankfully, after you become bat mitzvah, you're not going to be buying your new house, car yet. You'll have your parents still to guide you, okay? But nonetheless, there will be this little bit of Lech Lecha that carries you out into the world after this service. Cantor.
Alrighty, so in a moment, we are going to invite our Aliyah up to the Bima. And there's a few wires on the left side, so if you're able to come up without the wires, or if you go up on your right side, right side, and left side no wires, right side wires, so just be a little careful. For the honor of our first Aliyah, we call up to our Bima, Robert Sloan, Mark Sloan, and Lynn Schultz. Ya'amdu, Yerachmiel, Meir David ben Yerachmiel, Leah la Aliyah HaTorah. Right, and when you're ready and set, there should be the Torah blessings right up there for you. And folks in the congregation, we can find them on page 34.
Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch atah
Now we're here. Melech haolam. Asher b'harbanu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai el Avraham, Lech lecha, ma'artzecha u'mimoladetecha, u'mebeit avicha, el ha'aretz asher arecha, vayetzecha hagoy gadol, ve'avarechecha, ve'gadala shemecha, ve'hiye baracha, ve'avracha, ve'avarechecha, u'mikalalash aor, ve'navrachu vecha, kol mishpechot ha'adama.
Yasher Koach, and we'll make the blessing after the Haftorah, or after the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Hugs and kisses, and then you may be seated as we will call up for our second Aliyah, Mark Shavitz. Ya'amdu, Ya'amod, Yitzhak, Michael ben Chaim, la'Aliyah LaTorah.
And Mark, if it's going to be easier, we also have the ramp on the far side. Either way, take your time.
And Mark, whenever you're ready, you can
Okay.
make the blessing.
Okay. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'charbanu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayelech Avraham, kasher diber elav Adonai, vayelech ito lo, באברהם בן 5 שנים ו70 שנה בצאתו מחרון. ויקח אברהם את שרי אשתו ואת לוט בן אחיו ואת כל רכושם אשר רכשו ואת הנפש אשר רצו בחרן, ויצאו ללכת ארצה כנען, ויבואו ארצה כנען. ויעבור אברהם בארץ עד מקום שכם, עד הלוך מורה, והכנעני אז בארץ.
Asher Koach.
Baruch,
Yep, whenever you're
Baruch
ready.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Hugs and kisses. And then, Mark, you may be seated. All right, so it is my pleasure to invite very proud mom and dad and older sister to offer our blessing before the Torah. Yamdu Mordechai Eliyahu ben Levi Surah, Michal Leah bat Yerachmiel Miriam, Leah Batya bat Mordechai Eliyahu Michal Leah La'aliyah LaTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvara.
Amvaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvara le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayera Adonai el Avram, Vayomer lezar'acha, aten et ha'aretz hazot, vayiven sham mizbeach l'Adonai, hanir'eh elav. Vayitek misham hahara mikedem v've'el vayitocholo, v'et-el miyam ve'ahai mikedem, vayiven sham mizbeach l'Adonai, ויקרא בשם אדוני, ויישא אברהם הלוך ונוסע הנגבה.
Asher Koach. All right, mom and dad and Leah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natah b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Big hugs and kisses. Beautiful. All right, so Jenna, mom and dad are going to keep an eye on that yacht. Make sure it stays right where you left it. And you are going to have a seat. And I'm going to have you sit somewhere where I can see you. Yep, maybe right on the last chair closest to the Israeli flag. Yep. Oop, nope, nope, nope. Over to your right. There you go. Yep. And we're going to ask Dad and Leah to hang out next to Mom. There we go. I can see you. Okay, so why are you sitting down before your fourth Aliyah? Well, Jenna, this is an extraordinary moment because as soon as I invite you with your Hebrew name to the Bima, you are literally going to Aliyah. You are going to ascend into becoming a bat mitzvah. So what does that really mean? Well, that walking up from your chair to the Torah gives us that physical demonstration. I'm going to turn me down just a little bit. There we go. And in addition to that, what you are doing is really elevating yourself and moving deeper into your sense of Judaism, Jewish connection to your heritage, your people, your family, your spirituality to God. So you are elevating into that and deepening into that. And in doing so, you also lift us up into that type of connection. And not only everybody here in this room, everybody smiling at you through the screen, everybody over through the whole world. So it's my pleasure to call you up now as an official bat mitzvah. Talmud Habachura bat mitzvah, Sarah Rachel bat Mordechai Eliyahu Michalea, La'aliyah Torah. And whenever you're ready, you can make the blessing before the Torah, and just make sure you're looking in one of the microphones.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vahi Ra'a Ba'aretz, Vayered Avraham Mitzrayma, Lagur Sham, Ki Chaved Arav Ba'aretz. Vahi Ka'asher Ikriv Lavo Mitzrayma, Vayomer El Sarai Ishto, Hinei Nayadati, Ki Isha Yafat Mar'eh, V'haya, Ki Iru Otak HaMitzrim, Ve'amaru Ishto Zot, Ve'hargioti, Ve'otak Yachayu.
Beautiful. And you're going to make the blessing after the Torah.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher natan lanu Torat emet, V'chayei olam nata b'zochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. So Jenna, this is also a special moment that because we have our Torah in our midst, it's supposed to be a little more holy. And so it's a chance for us to offer you a Misha Berach. It's not just for the sick. A Misha Berach can also be for spiritual growth. And so friends, we're on page 35. If everyone will please rise. And mom and dad, get between her. Or put her between you. Mm-hmm. Perfect. All right, Jenna, you look at me. Misha Berach Avotenu ve'imotenu, Abraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov, Sarah Rivka Rachel ve'Leah, Hu Yevarech et Sarah Rachel, Bat Mordechai Eliyahu, Umichal Leah. Shehigia lemitzvot v'alta laTorah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yish Marecha v'chayecha v'chonen et libach, v'hiyot shalem im Adonai Elohecha, v'hagot b'torato lechet bidrachav, v'lishmor mitzvotav, v'timtzachen v'seichel tov, be'enei Elohim v'adam v'nomar. Amen. All of that to say, Jenna. May the God who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Jenna, because you have come for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. And so we ask that the Holy One guard you and sustain you, that God help you to be wholehearted in your faith, so that you can walk in God's ways, studying Torah and fulfilling God's mitzvot. Jenna, may you find favor before God and all people. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
All right, friends. So at this time, I'm going to have us remain standing. We'll turn to page, I think it's going to be 36.
36 at the top, yeah.
Yep, page 36 at the top. And Mom, Dad, and Leah, if you will help to dress our Torah.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי.
All right. And actually, is the tallit still up there? That was covering it before?
I think it's underneath.
Oh,
Yep,
perfect. Go ahead. Let's use that. I was going to have you put it on the stand, but this is going to be easier. So just drape that over the Torah. That becomes our ark for it. Beautiful. And I'll invite everybody to please be seated unless you are Jenna Cohen. And then you now have the chance to share with us your words of Torah, your Devar Torah. So whenever you are ready, nice and slow, into the microphone, the floor is yours.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion is Lech Lecha from the book of Genesis. This story starts with God coming to Avram and telling him to travel to a different land and leave his birthplace. God told Avram that he would make him a great nation, and he would make Avram's name great and holy. He went with Sarai, his wife, and his nephew Lot, plus all of their possessions and people they had acquired. There was a famine that struck Avram and his people. They left Canaan and traveled to Egypt. Avram knew how beautiful his wife was, so he told her to tell the people that he is her brother so that he will be spared. She was so beautiful that Egyptians would kill him so they could take Sarai to be the Pharaoh's wife. Pharaoh's ministers saw Sarai and took her to the Pharaoh so she could become his wife. God saw this happening and struck Pharaoh and the people in his household with afflictions. When Pharaoh found out Sarai was Avram's wife, he told them to leave. When Sarai and Avram left Egypt with Lot, they realized that their riches and possessions were overwhelming. Avram decided that they needed to split up. Lot went east, so Avram stayed in Canaan. After they parted, God came to Avram and told him, "You see all this land, I'm giving this land to you and your descendants forever." Then we learn about a bunch of kings who went to war for 13 years. In the 14th year, there was a rebellion. During the rebellion, they captured Lot because he lived in Sodom. A fugitive told Avram that Lot was taken by some king, so Avram and his people went to them and fought. Avram won and took Lot back home. The king of Sodom was grateful that he beat the other kings, so he went to Avram and thanked him. The king tried to make a deal for Avram to leave him the people and for Avram to take all the possessions, but Avram said no. He did not feel like he went to battle for money or riches. He went to battle to rescue Lot because it was the right thing to do and a mitzvah to rescue someone who was in captivity. God wanted to reward Avram for not leaving his people with the king of Sodom. When Avram was 99, God came to him to make a covenant between them through circumcision. God then told him his name was now Abraham, meaning father of many nations. God then said to Sarai that her name is now Sarah, and blessed her with a son. In my parsha, Lech Lecha, there are many lessons that come with the story. In my opinion, one of the most important ones is humility. Humility is being humble. An example of humility in my parsha is when Avram rejects the king's offer of a reward for saving his land when Lot was taken by the enemy, when also the enemy was trying to start a war. Even though Avram and Lot did not always get along, Avram knew he would rescue Lot with no question. Judaism teaches us that we should always do the right thing, not because a reward may be offered, but because it is the right thing to do. My synagogue is involved in a great organization, Mary Hall Freedom House. This organization helps women and children in need to improve their life circumstances. My family, other synagogue members, and I have served dinner for the women and children who also delivered lots of lunches for them. We served these women because it was a good deed to do. We did it because no family should have to worry about when or if they are going to have their next meal. This is a lesson my parents have taught me. I have learned how lucky I am to only have to worry about normal teenage girl stuff and not about if I have enough food, clothes, or a loving home. I'm very grateful for this, so I try my best to help out when I can. Becoming a bat mitzvah means that I am now an adult in the Jewish community. To me, this is a huge honor and a big responsibility. I plan on continuing to be an active member of Temple Emanu-El. I hope to be able to devote more of my spare time to Temple Emanu-El during my softball off-season. As an adult in the Jewish community, I plan on continuing many of the traditions that I currently do with my family. We already belong to the best synagogue in town. I wouldn't want to worship and learn anywhere else. As a family, we love to go to art festivals and collect unique Judaica to display in our home. We have a cool Seder plate from a synagogue in Savannah and mezuzahs and other items throughout our house that we found from local artists. I hope that some of these items are handed down to me and my sister when we have families of our own. I love all the traditions that my family has started, and continuing them as an adult is very important to me. I want to honor my parents by showing them that what they have taught me is important and appreciated. A Jewish value that is very important to me is trustworthiness. To me, trustworthiness means to be honest, reliable, loyal, and to always say what you'll do. This is important to me because this is the kind of friend and person I like to be and I want my friends and family to be. I try to demonstrate this in my life by always keeping secrets and not gossiping and supporting my friends when they are stressed or feeling down. I'm looking forward to a trip to Israel next year when I'm in 8th grade at the Davis Academy. I've never been there, and now that I'm starting to learn more about life there and its history, I really want to go and experience it for myself. It's hard for me to understand right now what the Israelis go through every day, but it is important to me to learn more about it. For my mitzvah project, I have chosen to help out a charity called Help America Hear. Their mission is to provide hearing aids to qualifying people with limited financial resources who cannot afford them on their own. They also provide one scholarship per year to a deserving high school senior who is hearing impaired and wants to go to college. They will be awarded $1,000 plus a set of state-of-the-art hearing aids. I know that I'm extremely lucky to have a family that is able to provide for me with what I need to live a life without worrying about being able to hear. I want to help others that don't have their support like I do. So please be on the lookout for some information or requests from me to help out with this wonderful cause. When getting ready for my bat mitzvah, a lot of people helped me on the way. I couldn't have done this without them. I want to thank my tutor, Joanne Lipschitz, for all her help and patience with me and rescheduling around all my softball. I want to thank Rabbi Rachel and Rabbi Spike and Cantor Desnick for guiding me on this journey. Without their help, I wouldn't be able to do all this. Next, I want to thank my older sister who helped me with preparing for today. Sometimes she can be a pain and annoying, and other times she's also a pain and annoying. Just kidding, a little. She does help me when I need it and can give me good advice. I know she loves me sometimes. I want to thank my parents for supporting and helping me accomplish what I'm doing today. My mom always knows how to help me and improve when I need it. She will tell me how I'm doing, and when things aren't right, she knows just how to fix it. My dad can always make me laugh when things are rough. He's a big part of my personality. I know that they love me so much. Thank you for always being there for me. Finally, thank you all for coming this morning. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful. And that was the loudest Shabbat Shalom I got all morning. So well done, well done. Hi, Jenna. So thank you for sharing with us this morning a number of beautiful lessons that every person in this room has a chance to grow from. And Jenna, you have this special little place in my heart, because I don't always remember, but at your sister's bat mitzvah, I do remember you, and that you sat in the congregation or up there sometimes, and you just had this look of awe that was going to be you one day. And something that I really love, despite how you spoke of her in your Devar Torah, just kidding, that you adored your sister, that you were so proud of her, and that day, you let that day be about her. And now, today, as bat mitzvah, this day is about you and the lessons that you've taught us, that you've led us in this prayer, in these prayers. And so, Jenna, one of the things that we talked about a lot was, what does it mean to have humility? What does it mean to be humble, trustworthy? How do we even do that in 2021 with social media and all these things that can distract us, that can pull us away from some of those values that we hold so dear? But Jenna, what you have that's going to really help you is not only a good head on your shoulders, but you have an amazing family that loves you so much, that models for you what it means to be a good person. And Jenna, I know you're that friend in the group too, the mama of the group, and so as mama of the group, keep being that. Be that person that makes everybody else better, Be that person who is there no matter what. Be that person that continues to keep secrets and help our friends. And if you do that, we will be so blessed to have you continue in your Jewish journey and to grow up even more with us here at Temple Emanu-El.
Jenna, Mazel Tov. I am so, so proud of you. And I remember meeting your family, and I remember one of the first things that you and I connected about were your super, super cool hearing aids, because what color are they now? Are they purple still?
Yeah.
They're purple. So, and I was so jealous because mine are like just beige, right? And you don't often meet, someone, like, right? There's a lot of glass-wearing people in the world, and not so many hearing aid wearing people in the world. It was really neat to have that connection. What I want to talk about with you is this idea of Shema, this idea of listening, right? And I think that, because you have this extra set of ears, right? You're extra attuned to what it is like to not be able to listen so well, and then to also listen. And the kind of listening that I want to talk about with you is the kind of listening that you already do, that you listen to your heart. It's called sacred listening. And when you're listening to your heart, you're listening to God, you're listening to your Jewish connections. And so, my dear, I just always encourage you to keep listening, and just share your beautiful heart and soul with the world. And I'm so excited to see what is coming next for you.
All right, so Mom and Dad, if you'll just go on up to first surround Jenna in your love, as Cantor and I have this chance to once again bless her with our sacred blessing of the priestly benediction. Please rise. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and show you abundant graciousness. And wherever your feet take you, wherever your spirit takes you, may you always humbly walk with God and know that God is with you, surrounding you in peace. Together we say, Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated, except for Mom and Dad, because now you have the chance to share some lovely blessings of your own with Jenna. Just make sure you're near a mic that'll pick you up.
I'll do the beginning. So some of you may remember that for Leah, we did a top 10 list at her bat mitzvah, partly so that I didn't stand up here and cry in front of everyone, and partly because I'm a big fan of lists, and especially a top 10 list. So here goes for Jenna.
You ready for this?
These are the top 10 things we love about Jenna.
We love that Jenna never stands still. It's always TikTok time.
Number 9, we love that it's so easy to feed Jenna. All you need is ramen noodles, eggs, and toast, and you are all set.
We love that she is in algebra. Algebra 1, but still has to use her fingers to add and subtract.
Number 7, we love how great she is with little kids. We think she will be an amazing teacher someday.
We love what a good roommate, travel partner Jenna is. If you're snoring or playing your music too loud, she just turns off her hearing aids.
Number 5, we love how when Jenna leaves her cleats and softball gear in our car, she can never smell anything.
Number 4, we love what a good sport Jenna is when it comes to my brutal teasing and practical jokes. She can take it like a champ and even laugh, right?
Number 3, We love what a great friend Jenna is to all. She is kind, loyal, and truly cares about all of her friends deeply.
Number 2, we love how strong, confident, smart, and easygoing Jenna is, as you can see from her performance earlier.
And number 1 reason we love Jenna, we love what an amazing young lady Jenna has turned into. We are nothing but proud of her and know the sky is the limit for her future.
Beautiful. Amen. Hug, hug. Kiss, kiss. She liked it. And so now, Leah, if you will head up there, I'm going to put out the directions first. So in a second, well, actually, you can head up there now, which are our ARC openers, Terry Williams and Sarah Terrapin. If you guys will head toward the ARC, I'm going to ask that the congregation please rise. We're going to turn to page 39. And now, Todd, if you will pick up our Torah. And then after the ark is opened and cantor begins, you'll be able to place it back into the ark. So open now, page 39, Eitz Chaim.
למה חזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו כקדם.
Beautiful. And my lovely ark openers, we're going to keep it open, actually, because we're going to turn to page 40 for Aleinu L'Shabach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Go ahead and close our ark. And Terry and Sarah, you can be seated along with the congregation. Cohen family, if you'll just do a quick turnaround, perfect. So friends, we have reached the point in our service where we call to mind the memory of loved ones, those who have departed this world in body in recent days, and to those who have died in seasons past as well. And on this particular Shabbat morning, on the occasion of this Simcha, I know that the Cohen family is especially calling to mind your Zadie, Larry Cohen. And Jenna, I want you to surround yourself with his love. Imagine a beautiful smile right at you, okay? Friends, if you are in the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, I ask that you please rise. If you are in the first year mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise. If on the Shabbat you are observing a yahrzeit, the death anniversary of a loved one, please rise. And if it is your custom to rise for Mourner's Kaddish, as it is here at Temple Emanu-El, we invite you to do so. Our prayer can be found on page 41. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, be'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman hariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'itadar v'it'aleh v'it'halal shmei dugasha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mroma. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Friends, at this time, we'll either remain standing or I'll ask that you please rise. Cohen family, please shift over to your kiddush as well as your challah. Boop, yep.
And we're going to pick up the Kiddush cup. Hold it nice and high. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei peri hagaf. And we say together, Amen. L'chaim. Take a drink, or at least look like you're taking a drink. And you're going to place your Kiddush cups down, and you're going to pick up the challah and uncover the challah and hold it up nice and high. We will make our bracha together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov siman tov. Yeilanu. Yeilanu, Yeilanu, u'bechol Yisrael. Yeilanu, Yeilanu, u'bechol Yisrael. Yeilanu, Yeilanu, u'bechol Yisrael. Yeilanu, Yeilanu, u'bechol Yisrael.
Mazel tov, Cohen family, and Shabbat Shalom.